This is great. You said, wait, don't move.
Well,
You said when you wake up.
I'm just gonna make one little adjustment.
No, you said when you wake up, what happened?
I said like I'm dreaming and like everything makes sense, even though it's the most fucked up thing ever.
No, you said what happens.
But then
with
you
your
wake
brain.
up. You wake up and you're like, your fucking brain just, your head just explodes. You're like, oh my god, this is real. I'm really alive. This is really happening. This reality. Most people like dread it. They wake up, they're like, oh, it's not as cool as the dream I was just having. But it's just because it's more real. It's even just more like mind blowing. You were having a hard time struggling with the fucked up reality in your dream, but you're in control of that subconsciously.
Yeah.
What's
so when you really wake up,
wake
that's
up?
the cold water. That's the splash into the cold water. You know what I mean? Reality. No, you got to get up in half an hour. You got to be dressed, your teeth brushed, and you got to go out in that cold ass weather and go to work or whatever. That's reality. That's the part that's just like, I can't even fucking believe that it's real. You know what I mean? Because things make so much more sense.
The reason I wanted to record this is because the other day I love sleeping in the beach house, and I woke up on the couch, and you know how I like the branches that remind me of the neurons in the brain that they branch out, and I'm like
me.
I took a picture of it, and I wrote a comment or a quote for the pictures like let the neurons begin, because I wake up. And they're all firing now. It's fucking a big explosion in my brain. Like, woo! So when I heard him say, when he wakes up, that's kind of how I feel and think, too. I'm just like, fuck, it's all firing now.
Most certainly.
But at the same time, aren't you used to this reality that, like, you don't, when you wake up, you know what it is, you don't have the explosion anymore, because you already know where you're
No, but I like that, though.
But the explosion is the fact that it's real. And whether it's negative or positive, like maybe that day something really awesome is happening, so you wake up like, oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I just wake up then, or maybe you're dreading what's happening that day. Whatever it is, it's so real, and all of a sudden you remember all the other days, and you remember that this is real, this is what's going on. It's like I said, like your reality in your mind, you're in control of that, even though you feel like you're not. You feel like you're in this fucked up carnival roller coaster. Really, you're the one that's in control of that. It's your subconscious. Whatever it is that you really are, might not be your consciousness and what you're directing, your outward projection of yourself. That's everything else.
That's where it comes.
And then when you wake up, you're just like, boom, and you're like, now I'm not in control of anything. Like all of a sudden, like I am, it just everything is set against you, stacked against you. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day.
I enjoy what you said, but I would also disagree with it because we can't control this reality.
Well, you can control it ultimately, but like for whatever's going on at that point in time, like I said, if you're dreading that day or whatever, there's certain things you can't control.
But those are choices.
But that's
perceptions
real.
Of reality.
But that's real. Then you have to deal with it that day. It's like the Pantera song I've been listening to a lot lately. You know, I would typically disagree with this as an outward statement, but yesterday don't mean shit. Yesterday don't mean shit. What's over and over, nothing between.
Yeah, but
because tomorrow's the day that you'll have to face cold and winding time.
Right now is the result of like a lot of decisions that you made a long time ago.
Sure, the decisions you made the night before, and you wake up.
But what I love about reality is we can also think of different realities in the future and kind of sort them out. Sometimes we get what we want, sometimes we don't. So we can also learn from shit that never even happened in the future.
Sure.
You learn from the past.
You play out these what-if scenarios to prepare yourself for alternate futures that you might face. Like you think, you ever just sit there and daydream like, oh, what if like my mom and my brother and my dad were killed in a car accident tomorrow?
Weird thoughts like that.
How would I cope with this? How would I deal with this? How would I make it right for myself?
And I have to mention this because the girl Gwen that I was saying, I got all these explosions of different future realities, and it overwhelmed me.
With her?
And it freaked her out.
What you mean?
Because
Did you verbally express them?
Yes.
Ooh,
that's right.
She got scared about that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it's okay because I learned from it. And, but I learned from...
You can't put everything that you have out there because some people aren't ready to accept it. It's not that they won't or that they can't, that they don't. They might not know it. You just
like some people aren't ready to like accept that sort of thing. Like
exactly.
That's why there's like foreplay and like that's why birds have like calls and shit. There's like some intermediary between the raw truth and what actually exists.
But you know me.
Right.
So it's like I'm just...
Right. No, you're not like a weird guy who's like out to hurt people.
I'm consciously out there.
Yeah, we know you. We understand that type of thought. But like some people like them would be like,
and that's why
man, this dude's some sort of weird clinger or some shit. Like, you know, you're talking about like who knows. One reality, you're married and you have kids, and the other, you're like, you're freshly divorced and you beat her up or something. Yeah. Who knows? Like, every different reality exists, but like, which one happens?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's up to you. But
I had a baby scare this year. that was the worst 2 weeks of my life, and until I found out, you know, she wasn't pregnant. I was already on my deathbed talking to my kid, saying, I wish I didn't have to leave you. I wish I could tell you everything's going to be okay. I never have a kid. I never want to have kids. But this is happening in my reality, in my head.
It's like all the different realities you talk about. It's like me and Steve were driving home from jiu-jitsu the other day. It was a real bad car accident. I don't know, Abbey Road. Dude, it looked like people died. And one of the cars was a little white car. And I didn't think about it until we got to the end of the road, but like, that's what my ex drives. It's a little white Nissan. And I was like, dude, how fucked up would that be if that was her car? You know what I mean? Like, if some shit happened to her, like, how would that affect me now? Even though we've been broke up for a year and I'm, like, emotionally detached myself as best as I can within my social, like, limitations. How fucking weird would that be? All of a sudden, it would be like we never broke up at all. It'd be like we were still together, and I'd be, like, all sad and all fucked up about it. You know what I mean? But it's like two different realities. Like, it could be, it could not be, and I just had to drive by, and, like, who knows? You know what I mean? Like,
we should
weird.
talk more.
Fucking
this
weird.
Is cool.
No, I think this all the
like,
time. I'm like, I see shit, but I'm just like, I just don't have the time to like invest myself in it.
Now,
I don't have half an hour to give something
2 years
credit
ago,
deserves
you're
and
a different person that has different
the shit
social
that you
ties
post,
and stuff.
I think about talking to you about shit all
2
the
years
time.
later, that shit might not, like, the effect that it had 2 years ago, and if it happened right now, the effect would be completely different on your mind.
For effect.
You might be like, wow, this is weird.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, you might be like, just complete, like, train wreck. Like, you wouldn't know what to do. But, like,
well,
now,
no, it wouldn't matter
like,
as much because we're not, like, together or whatever, but it would still be fucked up. I would still be upset. Like, you know what I mean? It would fuck me up. It would change the circumstances of things. And the way I've learned to cope with the situation would soon turn on its head, and I'd have to re-cope with the whole thing.